I fear with this video, this is going to be less of a review and more of me just trying to process where I am at with the movie industry, Disney included. Because I go to the movies a lot, far more than the average person. And so when I hear the average person that maybe goes to the movie 2, 3 times a year complain, all we get is sequels and remakes, I tend to push back because there's certainly a lot of original art out there. It just requires you to do a little extra effort to seek it out, to find it. It's not going to be advertised to you the same way Lilo and Stitch will be. But these days, anytime I interact with Disney, the company, their art feels very much what people are talking about. It is sequels, it is remakes. And Disney has even owned up to that within the past couple of years, admitting that, yes, our original stuff isn't doing as well, so we're going to stick to sequels and remakes. And so now we have Lilo and Stitch, a property that is just over 2 decades old. Many people, myself included, remember seeing it on its original release. And so Disney is clearly trying to pull that nostalgia bait with many people within my age demographic, seeing if we can get out to the theater or take our kids. And I did take my kids. I didn't really want to, but for whatever reason, somehow the marketing got through to my 3-year-old where she is asking me a month in advance, I want to go to the theater to see Stitch. She has seen the animated film, she enjoys the animated film, but while we were watching this film, it opens up, Stitch is on screen. She goes, hey, that's Stitch. Lilo comes on screen. I say, hey, that's Lilo. And she says, that's not Lilo. And I couldn't really argue with her. And I know these are conversations and realizations people have been having for years now, especially concerning the Disney live action remakes, where it just isn't original. It's not really fun. It feels just a watered down, less exciting version of the thing we already have. And I have also been saying those things for the past few years now. I had a breaking point with Aladdin. I had a breaking point with The Lion King. Whatever the heck that Pinocchio thing was, The Little Mermaid. I was able to skip Snow White, but it seems like the same things were happening. And now we have reached Lilo and Stitch. And I find myself saying the same thing I do with all of these things. If you enjoy the original, you will at least get some enjoyment from this film. It on surface level is not bad because the original story is compelling. But I would be absolutely shocked if anyone would consider this better than the original. And my question is, if we are not challenging ourselves by trying to make something better than what we previously did, why are we even putting it out there? Does Disney think that people are going to see this and prefer it to the animated version? Or have they just accepted the bare minimum that we don't really care if this isn't going to be people's favorite film of all time? We just want them to watch it and we just want to make money. And as I sit here recording this video, the box office numbers are out and it's huge. $180 million opening weekend. I know it's Memorial Day weekend, so that adds a little bit to it, but compare that to The Lion King, which made just over 190 its opening weekend. It knocks Little Mermaid out of its own water that premiered 2 years ago to only a $90 million opening weekend. So this thing is huge. And Disney isn't going to stop. And I wonder what's the point of complaining anymore, because I'm clearly part of the problem contributing to this box office. But focusing on the film itself, it does take some liberties from the animated version, which I won't get into specifically because I don't want to spoil it, but the spoilers are out there, and I even saw some of those plot points before watching this film, and I really don't love them. I think the original film is this grounded story focusing on a very specific family dynamic that often isn't represented within Disney films. To an extent that is because pretty much all Disney children grow up without at least one parent. But this is a story where it's hardest focused on the idea of adoption, found family, even a little bit of immigration. Like, let's not pretend that Stitch is a literal illegal alien. And the original animated version really sells those themes in a way that children can understand, and even if they're not understanding the logistics behind those story plot points, they feel the emotion of it. They understand the idea of Ohana. And I would be fascinated to do a study of people who watched this film without seeing the animated version, if they would walk away with that theme being as powerful. Because I would imagine not, because the story points that they do choose to change within the story almost completely contradict those themes. To me, this is a film that only works if you have seen the original, and now you have two alternate versions and kind of decide what you like about this, what you like about that. But even in that universe, I can't imagine people would compare those two films and find the ideas and plot changes they made in this new one and prefer them. It's nothing to be too upset about, and again, as I sit here complaining, I figure, like, what's the point? Kids are gonna see Stitch, they're gonna like it, and I don't really foresee anyone getting too upset or offended by the existence of this thing. All the actors are doing the best that they can. I do think it's unfortunate because anytime we have a live action remake, you're forced to compare these real life actors to animated performances, which by nature, animation is more expressive, it's more creative. You are allowed to break rules that you can't in the real life universe. And so even though this is a story focused around a computer animated alien, it's still being set in the real world. So there are laws and physics that these actors have to follow. And so yes, the actors and actresses that play the characters are doing a good job in this film. It just feels unfair to set them up to be compared to animated characters. And while I don't have any specific thoughts on this film isolated outside of the overall conversation concerning Disney live action remakes, my biggest takeaway is my curiosity on how far they're willing to go with this. The next one we have is the live action Moana remake, which feels incredibly soon to be doing this, considering we just had a sequel last year for it, because this bubble is going to burst. Even if audiences are still willing to go multiple times to the theaters and give Disney all their money, we are slowly losing properties that are going to be profitable. Sure, people might show up for Treasure Planet or Atlantis, but Home on the Range? Meet the Robinsons? I would pay a lot of money to go see a live-action Chicken Little, but I think that's going to be the limit for me. So those are some very brief thoughts on the film Lilo and Stitch. More so my thoughts on Disney overall and the concerns I have moving forward. But I would love to hear your thoughts, whether or not you even saw this film. So please comment below, let me know what you think, and I will see you next time.